Star Wars in its history of games has never failed to be immersive and amazing just to experience each part of it. Today, I'm going to show you some of my favourite Star Wars games that I've got downloaded on my PC, which I want to share with you that you may or may not know of. First, I want to get away the classics. Star Wars Jedi Academy and Star Wars Jedi Outcast, both amazing to play in flat screen and just so gorgeous with the amount of mods they are. One that definitely deserves to be on this list, and which I think will be popular for a very long time yet. Now with this, it's called Battle of Geonosis. You can download this on itch.io, which is a very short experience, around a minute or two, where you get to have the perspective of the helmeton of a clone trooper fighting in the Battle of Geonosis. With these very real to lifelike graphics, you can go and shoot down as many clankers as you can before the game unfortunately crashes. In our second spot, we have got Star Wars Redemption, a fan-made game that you can download for free on Artwork Station, where you play a unique Mandalorian Jedi that goes and sets out their own conquest between the time of Order 66, where you get to experience the most sweetest period in Star Wars, with a load of RPG elements inside it, with your own clone trooper army, where if you go on a specific map, you will experience Order 66. This one has been out for quite a long time now, spanning a couple of years, and it's just had its most recent update in November 2023, where it adds a lot more maps, a lot more combat, and a lot more story missions that you can go and complete. So if you're looking for something to keep you busy and for a unique, untold story of a Star Wars Jedi during the Clone Wars, this will be your game. Star Wars Besieged is a most recent discovery of mine, which I found on itch.io, where you can choose to play on mild run or Geonosis on easy, normal or hard, and it is a soldier based playing game set in the Star Wars universe. So with stormtroopers that you will have already set out as clones, you will have a ship that lands where you can deploy more soldiers, and you will have a vast map where you get to choose where you pinpoint your clone troopers to fight against clankers. You'll only have about 30 seconds when you start the game before clone clankers start fighting each other, so you gotta choose carefully where you want to place your clone troopers. As when I have played this game, this has been compatible in VR, and you can choose whatever clone that you want if you click F on your keyboard to go and fight as yourself. You can play this in VR. This is very, very trippy to do play, but it's more suited if you go and play it in flat screen. Honest, this is probably one of the most difficult games that I tried to keep up with, because everything does come at you very, very fast, and this is only on normal mode. God knows what it would be like if I tried it on hard mode. This is a very unique game mode, which I've not seen a lot of Star Wars games do, and the fact it lets you be any clone trooper that you choose to deploy by just clicking on them and clicking F, so you get into instantly third person. It gives you a nice little overview of what a potential game like this could be if they did it in modern graphics.
Remember your training! Yes, sir. Let's go! Yes, sir! Watch your back! Sir, yes, sir! We're on it, sir! Yes, sir. Let's go! Sir. Incoming! Yes, sir! Run away, sir!
Now, if you are old enough to remember, and you probably played the classic PlayStation consoles, you will probably remember a game called Star Wars Racer. This is now being unofficially remade in its arcade form for controller use on your PC. This is a very unique remake where you get to play in a very cool retro style graphics, a reimagined version of the pod racing scenario in The Phantom Menace. And I gotta say, considering I've played both of them, this was a very enjoyable short experience that I'll be able to come back to anytime when I feel like it. This is free to download, also on itch.io. You have 3 laps to complete as young Anakin Skywalker in his little pod car, where constantly you are driving, so you have no control of the engine whatsoever, and you've got to make sure to get to each lap before those 100 seconds are over. And you've got a little timer on the top left right there, and you've got the whole racetrack from Tatooine recreated, made out in this custom game. If you're a fan of horror and you're looking for something to give you a bit of a fright, Death Troopers Star Wars is the game you'll be looking for. You are a stormtrooper researching and looking for a missing Star Destroyer. You end up finding it, and with yourself by yourself, with all the others dead in your trail, with bloody body parts and spare armor just scattered around with blood smeared everywhere. In this, you are tasked to go and survive the task of not getting killed by all the zombies. If you manage to survive this as well, this is a roguelike themed Star Wars game, so if you do manage to die, you will restart it unfortunately and have to replay the cutscenes. But if you do survive, you will get a really cheeky cutscene at the end to expect what this game could be if it got a full version. Now for something a little bit different, if you know what Dark Forces is, you will love the VR version made by Team Beef or Dr. Beef. From this, you can go to the Jedi Company app, where you can also go and play Jedi Outcast VR and Jedi Academy VR as well. In third and first person, you play as Kyle Katarn, infiltrating the infamous Stormtrooper Imperial bases. With the retro tone of the classic game still at heart, this is where the fun begins. This was probably one of the first ports that got announced unofficially for a mod for the actual game, and I'm going to be honest, it was a lot of fun. I will go back to this several times to go and play the replayability of it, but just to have that shooting FPS action in Star Wars that's seriously needed for VR, this was a lot of fun. If I'm correct, sadly, you can't do this specific game now in VR just because with the updates to the actual game to use this mod in. But from the mod port of Jedi Academy, it is fully possible to be able to do the movie duels of Star Wars. This was so much fun to be able to do, and if you are a fan of the prequels like I am, this was very, very weird and very trippy to be able to recreate these experiences in VR.
Bit lucky. Oh.
Revenge. Oh. Okay. Backflip, that was awesome. Such 2008 style. Oh. Now, obviously, Jedi Academy we can't mention without mentioning the VR version, which was the first version, if I'm correct, officially released, where you can play the full game in VR, first person or third person, where you get to customize your own Jedi and meet the likes of Kyle Katarn and Luke Skywalker, which is also made by Team and Dr. Beef, which you can go and download from their Patreon, or side quests depending on which version that you want. They have several versions on their GitHub where you can go and play to your heart's content of being a Jedi. Last but not least, Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast Remaster VR. The game that is still in quite very early access, being built from the ground up from the original game of Jedi Outcast, where you get to play in modern graphics with modernized lightsabers in virtual reality. If you want an idea of what this is like, their Patreon has a free version where you can download the game now, and a paid version for the next update 6.2. They've been working on this game for a couple of years now, and it seems to be paid off. This is footage from 2022, and this is just a glimpse of what you can play with a Star Wars game done right. And that covers this video. If you haven't downloaded any of these games already, make sure you go and do, because these are just some hidden gems that I've found over my time of searching for unique Star Wars games after playing the likes of Battlefront 2 and so on. If any of these hit any spot for you, let me know, and the links will be left down below for you. But as always, folks, my name's HN. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.